Ladies and gentlemen, thank you and welcome back for Z Real Estate's weekly discussion on real estate. This week we're going to be talking about immigration. Seems to be kind of a hot button issue. Instead of just talking about it in a broad, general sense, we're going to focus on a couple things which seem to be angering some people, saddening some people for a variety of reasons. And of course, we're going to tie it into real estate. I'm sure you're wondering, how the hell does that have anything to do with real estate? I'll show you how. Pay attention. Okay, so first off, there's immigration, the legal way, the illegal way. What we're going to try to focus on is political asylum, specifically political refugees, and whether or not they should, as a lot of people say, in an angry way or in a happy way, move to the front of the line. Whereas the immigrants who do it the proper way, fill out paperwork, sometimes they wait in excess of a decade to be granted citizenship to the United States. Do political refugees, should they be continued to move to the front of the line? What do you think about that?
You know, here's my view on it. We're talking about refugees here. We're talking about Syria. We're talking about,
that's right,
not necessarily just Syria. There's refugees coming from other countries too. And remember,
in the 90s it was Cuba. Well, it's still Cuba.
There's still, you know, when pilgrims came to the United States, they were also trying to escape religious persecution. So that's our history of the United States, that we open the doors for those that are disenfranchised. So when we're talking about refugees, it's not like this is somebody who's escaped from their home. They don't have anything left of their home.
That's absolutely right.
And they do have to go through the strictest of qualifications to come here. Now, a lot of times when you do your paperwork, what do you have? You have your driver's license, you show people that, your social security card,
I was born in California, so I actually don't know.
But you do have a driver's license. So all those things you submit to the government and show them what your ID is. Now, somebody like that coming, you know, they don't even have their birth certificates half of the time.
Right.
So how hard is it for them?
And a lot of people look at them and say, Jesus Christ, this guy didn't even have a birth certificate. Look what I had to do. I mean, I came from here and I did this and I did this.
There's no governmental offices to get that information.
Agreed.
Now, a lot of times when they come to the United States, they have 1 year. This is what I read. So if I'm wrong, and if there's an immigration lawyer out there, feel free to correct me. But from my understanding is that they have a year to submit their paperwork. Now, within that 1 year, if the country's situation back home improves, they do have to go back. Their paperwork may not be approved, and they'll have to go back. So a lot of times, you know, it's not that they're here and that means they get to stay. They're here. They still have to prove their case.
That's right.
And figure out if
we're letting them here temporarily. So that is something that's crucial to keep in mind. But still, a lot of people say, fine, temporary or permanent. Why do they get special treatment? You know what? Whether they do or whether they should is a controversial issue. Personally, I agree with it. And I know a lot of people out there are going to say, well, that's bullshit. What about all these starving vets? Do I not care about starving vets? Of course I do. And do I wish that they weren't starving? No. But at the same time, here is what America is doing, okay? America has quotas. We'll take X number of immigrants every year. Now, political refugees, that has nothing to do with the quota. This is extenuating circumstances, which in my opinion is what defines this country. Our ability to care in a way that most other countries don't. Our ability to care above and beyond Americans. We care about somebody who comes from Syria and says, hey, listen, I know I don't have the proper paperwork. I'd really love to be an American. I didn't do any of the things I'm supposed to do.
It's not as easy as that. They do have to prove their case.
I understand that.
And it keeps a lot of the immigration lawyers
true. But what they're doing, in a sense, is they're coming here and they're saying, look, I don't have the proper paperwork. I know I should have done X, Y, and Z, but I just want to make sure that you understand my situation, which is this. If you don't let me in here and I go back to Syria, I will die. I am begging for my life. Will you please let me in? I need a place where I won't be killed. Now, just for the people out there that don't understand, that's what a political asylum is. That's somebody who is in fear for their life in their situation and they need immediate asylum. So, do they have a right to move to the front of the line? I guess it depends on how you define right. We're not granting them citizenship. What we're doing is saying, all right, stay here, don't die, hang out, get your documents together, and prove your case. Isn't that what we're doing?
their life is in danger.
Correct.
Ultimately, that's the case. They belong to a certain sect, a group that, for race purposes, for religious purposes, for, let's say, genital mutilation, it takes a while from what I understand, to even make that case for certain communities that, hey, we do need asylum. So even in the case of genital mutilation that was happening in Africa, I forgot which country it was, it took them a while.
Nigeria.
Was it Nigeria or was it?
Well, Nigeria
I don't think it was Nigeria.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's okay.
I'll listen. Okay, well, one of the countries there, and if you know which country, go ahead and let me know. But it took them a while to communicate to the United States that was something that was caused an immediate risk to the person, and that's when they started to offer political asylum to those that were in danger of that.
That's absolutely right. Now, obviously, the people out there going, what do they think? We have an infinite supply of land? No. Yes. Okay. I will agree with you out there that assume the government is not the brightest. I'm one of you. I don't necessarily think the government's terribly intelligent either. However, at the same time, this whole idea isn't predicated on the notion that we have an infinite supply of land. It's predicated on humanity. It's predicated on our understanding that just because you're not an American, that doesn't mean that we don't care. And that's what makes America, America. That's what makes us great.
Oh my God.
Because we actually, big hearts care, okay? And we care. And that's, for the people out there that say, well, you know what, fuck them, that's bullshit, they don't have a right to be coming in. You know what? You have a right to be here, even though you don't agree with me. With all due respect, I don't agree with you, and that is the beauty of this country. If everybody thought the same, it wouldn't be America, now would it?
Well, the beauty of this country is that they have a lot of services that are offered. So now, going back to the vets, for instance, and I don't want to generalize.
Kavita was saying earlier that the vets had plenty of opportunities to get their shit together. They could have done it earlier,
No.
and they haven't, and that's why they're in the situation they
words
are.
in my mouth,
which, I'm not entirely sure is the case, but okay, go ahead.
No, what I was saying, actually, we didn't have a discussion about this earlier, but what I would like to say is that I think there are a lot of opportunities out there, and I think a lot of the vets that are, let's say, experiencing homelessness and so on, it's more of a mental issue, and I think that a proper mental health care should be provided to them. So I don't think it's just about them not getting the money, because the opportunities are out there. There are shelters out there for people.
That's true.
The services are out there, but you have to take advantage of them.
That's absolutely true.
When the refugees come here, and it's like that immigrant mentality, you're starting from zero. So you really take the most benefit or most advantage of that opportunity.
That's right.
To be able to just go out there and get any job and get paid hourly, and then they're thinking, they're taking those dollars and then they're converting them to their old currency, and they're saying, oh wow, I made $1,000 this month, when it's like $200 or something like that.
Well, I think tying this all back into real estate here, a lot of people take for granted the importance of real estate. Everybody, whether you're somebody who wants to buy a house, or whether you're somebody running from bullets on a daily basis, you need a safe place. Even if it's just a small little room, you need some real estate that you feel safe in. So these people that are coming here under the political, seeking political asylum as political refugees, and the people that are all upset saying this is bullshit, what about the homeless vets? Just to, qualify the situation so everybody's on the same page, they're not given free housing. They're not given homes with, zero mortgage or apartments free rent. They're given an opportunity to not be shot in the face. That's it. So we're not handing them out anything per se. We're giving them an opportunity to not be murdered by their own people, which I think is noble and generous of the United States to do. Now, for those of you out there who say that's bullshit, what about the vets? Seriously think about what that means. Do you really not care about the lives of these other people? And I know you're saying, fuck them, they're not American. Okay, that aside, do you really not care? Honestly?
Well, going back to what you're saying, ask a vet if they've served in, let's say, somewhere close to Syria or Iraq or Afghanistan. when these guys come back, they're like, the community's there, you know, they're such nice people, but they're suffering, and I wish we could do something about it. So I
First
think
of all,
a lot
we
of
are
times,
doing something about it. It's just not enough. Agreed,
I
it's
think
not
a
enough.
lot of times, if you ask a vet how they feel about refugees coming to the United States, they would be supportive of it. To some extent, I think there should be, the load should be shared
Let's
with
just
other
put it
countries.
this way. If you asked a vet on the street, he may not be, and I could understand the rationale. I would. If a vet on the street was really mad about the Syria thing, yeah, okay, he totally has I can understand the position. However, at the same time, let's look at his position. Is it a dire situation? Of course, everybody would agree. Will he be killed tomorrow? Probably not. I think everybody would agree on that too. Now, everybody would also agree that if we turn that Syrian refugee back to Syria, he would be killed the next day. Now, that is the issue. It's not America saying, we don't care about the vets. It's America saying, we don't want people to die.
I'm saying
That's
that if somebody is from the army and military and has served in those countries, they have a lot of compassion for those people, the natives of those people, and they understand why some of these refugees are coming to the United States, and they are much more compassionate about them coming to the United States. So what I'm saying is that the issue is not necessarily vet versus refugee, and you're trying to compare the two. Are we taking care of the people that serve the country?
Looking at the
If you talk to the people who serve the country, they would say, I think we need to take care of these people because we've seen what kind of lifestyle they live. We've seen the kind of danger that they live in.
I think there's a large demographic in this country that is upset about vet treatment. Is that all necessarily vets? No. I'm sure there are some, but there's a lot of, I won't say diehard Republicans, that are really upset about the way the vets are being treated, and they feel that they should be getting more rights or more benefits, etc. I don't disagree. And I realize it's difficult to say, wait a minute, how can you agree with this and also agree with that? Because this is really not a black and white issue. And for those of you that think it is, it's not. We're not saying vets over Syria. We like vets, and we also like not murder. The opposite of that, keeping people alive. And if we can do that, by giving them a little bit of real estate, again, we're not talking about we're giving them a house while we're giving vets nothing and that's why they're homeless, how dare you. No, we're not giving them anything. We're giving them a place to not get shot.
But think about
a place to share and not get shot.
But think about this. Think about this. Now, if they are in the United States, they do get approved for having legal residence here in the United States. No, I'm talking about long term. They're approved to stay in the United States because eventually that's what they're looking to do.
That's the goal.
Okay, so now what are they going to do? Keep living in their apartment? No, they want to go. They want to go buy a house.
The place that they're coming from.
So I think it actually helps.
Stabilizes. They could go back, and sometimes that does happen. Realistically, not that often.
Once you're in the United States, you never want to go back. That's it. That's a fact. I mean, you only want to go there.
Sounds a little pompous.
It's true. It's true. I've seen it. Okay. Everyone who comes here says, I'm only going to stay here for a year. I'm going to work hard. I'm going to go back. I'm going to always live in that country. And then they go back to visit like 2 years later and they realize, man,
by the way, for those of you that don't know what that's called, there's actually a term for it. It's called brain drain. What it means is they take the smartest people from all over the world who all want to go to college in America, because actually that is one of the few things we're good at, is higher education. Our high schools and our middle schools, they suck. But America has very, very good colleges, as you know. So the best people from India, China, Bangladesh, Korea, they all come to America to go to college with the plan, with the goal, I'm going to learn and make my country better when I finish. Does that happen? Probably not. They stay here and make America better.
My two uncles came to the United States that way. They came in the...
With the plan of going back?
Oh, yeah, 1950s.
Did they go back?
Temporarily, I think. Like I said, once you're in the United States, you're an American. It's a different kind of culture.
We suck the brains from the world.
We get spoiled. We love it here. Nobody wants to go back. And it becomes your home. You know, you kind of adapt to it.
But she's right. Kavita's absolutely right. And I think the reason she's right is not just because of the way it looks. I mean, there's a lot of other countries that are more beautiful than America, okay? It's because of the fact that we do things like this. We care about somebody that's not American possibly dying if we don't let them in. That's what it means to be American.
And I want to add to it. Now, when my uncles came, they came in like late 1950s and early